Thanks for visiting Patient Weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather stress forecast for March 17th, 2026. We do post additional graphics available at tpatw.com, and we maintain a patient weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our storefront support the activities of patient weather. Looking at the surface map for Tuesday, and it really shows that high pressure will be dominating almost all of the country after that storm system. There will be a lingering front along central and southern Florida with some unsettled weather, but notably we'll have a warm front stretching all the way from Arkansas to North Dakota. A little bit of shower activity ahead of that warm front, but the real story will be the very warm temperatures up and down the high plains and up and down the plains that will be slowly moving eastward. Looking at our vitality index, which is a measure of all of the individual weather elements that might trigger a health response, you can see that the high plains and the plains are a center of interest, and everywhere from the Appalachians east all the way up to the Great Lakes and into New England will be another center of activity, most of that post-frontal response from after the front. Looking at pressure change, you'll note that we have falling pressure with an asthma and arthritis risk up and down the plains, and we have rising pressure all the way from the panhandle of Florida, clear on up through eastern Wisconsin and taking in all of the eastern third of the nation. Looking at temperature change, this is what we were mainly talking about. You can see we have cold air flowing all the way down the eastern seaboard from just east of the lakes, New York, all the way up and down the Carolinas, and even reaching to much of the state of Florida. But the story will be this rising temperatures from the Rockies up and down the high plains and especially into the plains, and that eastward trajectory, so a nice warm up into spring. Looking at dew point temperatures, very much following that temperature with warming up and down the central portions of the nation and falling on the eastern seaboard. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, and this too is seeming to follow that same pattern with the risk of asthma and arthritis, a little bit in the Rockies, but not really significant till you get to the high plains, and then especially up and down the plains from Texas, clear on across Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas. But as you get to the east, literally from Michigan, clear on down through Indiana, eastern Tennessee, Kentucky, and down to the Florida Panhandle, and especially strong in Florida, and a risk again very strong from eastern North Carolina, clear on up through Pennsylvania, New England, and all of the Canadian cities from Windsor all the way up to Quebec. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.